Oh, g'day everyone. Captain Yobo here, and this is a top 5 video on the easiest cheese exploit AI, abusing the AI, the way the AI behaves in battles or on campaigns, whatever you want to call those things. That's not the point of this video, but the point of the video is just top 5 things that you can do to make your campaigns easier, go smoother, speed things up, whatever it may be, and then also in battles as well too. How to just make a battle easier with little to no effort. Um, there's one or two things on this list that are a little bit finicky and they take a bit more time and more effort, but almost all of it very simple. Everyone can do it. It's simple. So I'll start with number 5, and that is the student followers.
I am ready.
Some of the magic item drops, followers and banners and whatnot after battles and certain agent actions, whatever it may be. You can pick up research rate followers. Depending on the faction, sometimes they're called student, archivist, one or two other things. Different factions, they call them different things. Not available to all factions, but for the factions that do have them, I know vampire counts, they can get it. So anyway, one thing you can do to improve your chances of getting that drop is at the beginning of your turn, just make this a habit. The very first thing you should do is whatever you're researching, just stop it, turn off the research. You're not currently researching anything now. You do your battle, embed an agent into an army, whatever it might be. Certain actions they can provide a magic item drop chance. So normally I'd fight this manually, but I'll just auto resolve it and keep it simple. Yeah, that's why the dead rose again. Very good. Sack. And there we go. We got one. So awesome. Now I believe lords can't equip them, but they can go on heroes like necromancers and things like that. Some factions get multiples, like dwarfs can get students and archivists, I think, so they get 2 different kinds. Yeah, but it just depends on the faction. So there we go. That's step number 1. If I was to finish my turn now, I've done everything. Embedded agents, just done everything, ready to start the next turn. The very last thing I would do is go back to researching whatever it is I was doing. So there we go. That was number 5, and now on to number 4. Alright, and I'm back. So number 4, and that is the knowledgeable trait. Now, if knowledgeable, here we go. So let's have a look at this trait here. Winds of Magic Power Reserve, +5, all armies faction wide. Enemy Winds of Magic Power Reserve, -5, local region. But it's the first one that is the most important. Winds of Magic Power Reserve, +5, all armies faction wide. So for each agent or hero that has knowledgeable, every army will get +5 Winds of Magic. So if I have a look at my bar here, character 175, that's the boost. Pretty much some of that is from a few items and whatnot, but specifically this is not to do so much with getting heroes. With the knowledgeable trait, this is about lords who can get traits. So the knowledgeable trait. So not every faction can do this, because not every faction can get lords that get knowledgeables, but I thought I'd just show the Wood Elves here, because they're, some can do them easier, some can do them others. But where it comes in with the Lords is, you can see here, I've renamed the ones that I've recruited, so knowledgeable, 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 knowledgeable. So with Lords, once you recruit them, so these ones I've already recruited, so you can see here's a recruitment cost here, but this one I've already recruited. Once you've recruited them and disband them, this trait is still in effect, because that character, although the character is not immortal, it's still in the pool, so it's now permanently part of your faction until the character is dead. So what you do is just recruit them, find, here's what I do. Cunning, no. Right, okay, I actually don't have a knowledgeable lord, but let's say, for example, this one here, let's just say I've not recruited this one before. It's blah 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 name, whatever. I pay 1050, recruit it. I just rename it to knowledgeable, and then disband it, and never use it again. Never use it again. Never to be touched. That trait, Winds of Magic Power Reserve, +5, all armies faction wide, will now apply for the rest of the campaign. So every single turn, if a knowledgeable one pops up, I'll recruit it, rename it to knowledgeable so I know never to touch it, and then disband it immediately. It's done. Boom, +5.
Inseparable, invincible.
+5 for the Winds of Magic for every single army for the rest of the campaign. Now, in this situation, what I normally would have done now is just picked any. Since there were no knowledgeable lords I hadn't recruited in the pool, I'll just pick one, fleet-footed, there you go, just recruit that. I rename it to trash or rubbish, whatever. And they're in the hopes that on the next turn, a knowledgeable one does pop up, and then you just keep doing the process over and over and over, and you're just +5, +5, +5 every turn. So yeah, there we go. That's the number 4, knowledgeable lords. Now heroes. I'll just quickly touch on that. It also applies to heroes too, but this character here, it is knowledgeable. Now, if she was to die in battle, like permanently die, she's dead. Gone. I no longer get that trait from this character. Immortality. Once you get them to immortality and they can't be killed, when they're in a wounded state, or if you disband them for the turn or whatever it might be, they're immortal. They become permanently part of the faction for the rest of the campaign. Then it applies to them as well permanently. But for now, this character here, this hero, this spell singer, if she is to be killed in battle, she's gone, and I lose +5, the bonus of +5 from her. So this is why, when it comes to knowledgeable, you'll see in my army here, some of them do have Ariel chosen, but they're heroes. So what? They're giving the army a +15 buff.
The Sisters of Twilight.
With lords, I focus on the lords. Knowledgeable lords, it just keeps it simple. Ticking over every turn. Hopefully, if there's one in the pool, every turn. If there's not, recruit, disband. Hopefully a knowledgeable one pops up in the pool next turn, and away you go. If the faction does not have knowledgeable lords, but they have knowledgeable heroes, for example, if Wood Elves didn't have knowledgeable lords, I would have made sure that all heroes for the entire campaign were knowledgeable, provided they can give knowledgeable. So yeah, there we go. That's number 4, and time to move on to number 3. Alright, and I'm back. Here we go. So number 3, and this one is free upkeep. So I'm going to do number 3 in 3 parts, and I'll start with the vampire count. So I'll jump back to what I showed with Helm Dorsk with getting students before is number 5. But I thought this will be the easiest one to explain, and it's so simple to do. It's in their tech tree. It's very, very simple. This tech here, upkeep minus 100% for skeleton warriors and skeleton spearmen. So the reason why I'm going to point this one out is every campaign I play for vampire counts, we've all seen Legend do this, and a few other YouTubers as well. But every time I play, I rush straight down to this. For the free upkeep skeleton warriors. Now, in most of my campaigns, I'll crap stack just with skeleton spearmen for a little while, just to get the economy ticking over, make sure I can build everything up and consolidate everything at the start. And then once I start going into the mid game and whatnot, I might put mortis engines and 1 or 2 extra units there for a little bit of extra flexibility there, just so I don't have to manage 20 or 30 armies all following each other around, so I can put 4 armies into an auto resolve or into a battle and whatnot. It becomes a nightmare for me. I prefer to. You can crap stack the whole way through. I have done that before, but I find it just a little bit easier to chuck a few extra units in, like a mortis engine and whatnot. But anyway, that's not the point. The point is the reason why I'm pointing this out is this specifically, it avoids supply lines. So the upkeep reduction minus 100%. If I was to have a second lord, so this is playing as very hard at the moment. Each additional lord will increase your total army upkeep by 15%. What makes this special is if I'll show you here. So 75 for these skeletons now, 87 for the skeleton spears. So I now have 2 lords, I have supply lines, army upkeep increase of 15%.
My cruelty knows
so those skeleton spears have now gone to 100, and the skeleton warriors have gone to 86. What makes this tech special? It bypasses supply lines. So upkeep minus 100, it just makes them free. You can have 50,000 lords running around, 50,000 separate armies, and those skeleton warriors and skeleton spears will always be free. So this is the very simplest one. So this is number 3, but 3A. So let's jump to. I won't jump to anywhere. I'll just quickly touch on specifically 2 others that can do this quickly. Tehenowin. Actually, you know what? I will jump to it. So I'll come back with part 3B. Alright, and I'm back. Part 3B. So staying with free upkeep units. Tehenowin, specifically Tehenowin, not all lizardmen, but Tehenowin only. He can also get free upkeep units as well, and it's relatively easy to do. It does involve a bit of luck, but in his sacrifices here, where is it? It is this one here. Sacrifice to Huanabik, or whatever it is, unlocks a random follower. Now there's it's completely random. There's a pool of, I don't know, around about 6 or 7 of them that you can get. They all do various things like casualty replenishment rate or reduced construction cost for the local province or region or something like that. But specifically, there's one that reduces upkeep by 15%. So what you can do is, I've got to get lucky with it. This is where the luck comes in. You just keep popping this, and you can, if you've got enough heroes to embed into your army. Right now I don't have supply lines, so at 15% I would need 7 of them, which will get me to minus 105%, which, provided Tehennowin is my only army, that would make his entire army for free. So free upkeep. I have done a campaign once where I just had Tehennowin, that was it, no other armies. I played it super slow, it was about 200 turns or so before I got long campaign victory. But in others, now where it becomes a little bit annoying is it is affected by supply lines. So for 7 of them, that's 105% reduction. Playing on very hard and legendary, for each additional lord, it's an extra 15%. So if I was to recruit a second lord here, upkeep for all lords now becomes 115%. So then I would need to put 8 of those followers, those upkeep minus 15%, to get it to 120% to make one army free. Still be paying upkeep on the other one at 115, but that first army that I have 8 followers in would then become free, just with an extra follower. So you would need Tehennowin or whatever your lord is, and then 7 other heroes. So, but yeah, there you go. So this one, it involves a bit of luck. It is affected by supply lines, but totally achievable. It's fun. And like I said, there's also an construction cost reduction one as well too. So if you get enough of them, you know, as you move your army around and that, you can just quickly drop him into a region. I can't remember if it's region or province, but you can do the same thing there too and get free builds. But anyway, this one's just about upkeep. So there we go. There's Tehennowin's one. It's fun, very easy to do. Involves a bit of luck, can take a bit of time, but it's easy. So there we go. And then I'll jump now to the final part of free upkeep units, and this one not so easy, but the payoff is fantastic. So be back in a second. Alright, cool, and we're back with part C of number 3 of this top 5 list of obtaining free upkeep units, and this one is for Britonia. Now it can be done, this particular cheese or exploit or whatever can be done with any Britonian faction as far as I know, but I find it easiest to achieve with the Fey Enchantress. Basically what this involves
Who wishes the grave?
is it revolves around their vows, specifically for the Fey Enchantress, because she doesn't get any of them starting unlocked. And then all other lords that you recruit along the way. Now the Trough of Protection, so the Knight's Vow. Upkeep greatly reduced for Knights Errant, Knights of the Realm, and Pegasus Knights. So just focus on those 3 there. How to do this, and this is where I said in the Tehennowin bit that this one, although I find it easy, a lot of people out there might not find it easy, but I thought I would explain this one because the payoff is absolutely tremendous. So how to achieve those 3 units specifically for free. There is a bit of a process to it. Now I thought I'd start by also saying Britonia don't get supply lines, so you recruit another lord.
My strength and wisdom are yours. Blessings of the lady be
That's
upon you.
that's what makes this work, or partially how this works.
You seek prophecy.
But first step, pledge to chivalry. Boom, there you go. All lords. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now I'll just go over this briefly. I won't go into full detail. But basically,
What do you
the Fey Enchantress or any lord that you have, provided you're under 800. So if you're 799 and under in your chivalry up the top here, you can do this.
Who calls me hence?
Complete your vow manually. So pledge. I just do it with pledge to chivalry every time. Get the pledge done. Boom. You've done the knight's vow. You're all good. Now the next step is once you get above 800. Here we go. It says it here. All lords start with the knight's vow. So let's just hypothetically say that the Fey Enchantress has done her knight's vow already. She's done, completed, and I am above 800.
I protect
What you would do is just boot her out,
Devotee of the
get
lady.
rid of her in 5 turns. You would, provided you're still above 800. In
We
5
have met
turns,
before.
re-recruit her, boot her out, re-recruit her, but let's just say we did that. She comes back. All lords start with the knight's vow. Essentially what happens now, this obviously it's not supposed to be designed this way, of course, so this technically isn't an exploit. She gets the knight's vow twice. What it does, it gives those 3 units, Knights Errant, Knights of the Realm, and I think Pegasus Knights, free upkeep. And because Britannia don't have supply lines, you can do it for as many lords as you can achieve this for. So that's the number 3. That's the number 3 finished. I might. I did this on my old channel. I actually did a full guide on this one, so I might do it again and put it on this channel. But yeah, that's the number 3 free upkeep units, part A, B, and C. And so let's jump on to number 2. So I'll be back in a second. Cool, and we're back. So number 2 relates specifically to sieges. So one of the easiest ways that you can get through your sieges when attacking, that is, to avoid damage on the approach and whatnot, is to just destroy the towers. So just to achieve that, you do need artillery in the setup. So over time, the more you play, you'll sort of learn where this line is. Now in some settlements, you don't get an option to hide and whatnot, so that the towers won't start shooting and whatnot. What I would normally do though, in those situations, if it's unavoidable, just have one of your heroes standing in front and just run them backwards and forwards, so that the towers will shoot at a single entity, as long as they're closer to the walls than what your next unit is. There we go, so tower's destroyed. So now let's just say that I had things getting shot and it was unavoidable what happened here. I now actually have all this space that I can approach, do things without worrying about without the towers shooting to shit everything that you want to approach with. Another thing with sieges too, I've only got a beast wizard here, but this will suffice in the explanation. Death magic, okay. Shadows pretty good with Pit of Shades, Flamestorm, whatever it might be. But you can see here that if they've got missile units, let's just say that they were crossbows, you know, you can get him nice and close here. Flop a doom, that may not work, but yeah, there we go, it did, just in range. Just sit out of range, just magic them to death. It's tedious if you want to make full use of this, so you can see here, 7 seconds recharge. Every time you cast, that cost is, he's got the ability. Yeah, there you go. So it's, as a base, it's now become 1. So this is tedious, and you can wear them down and whatnot from there. Keep going, away you go. Don't even have to get my infantry involved yet. Away you go. I can whittle them down. Now, it works a lot better with things like Flamestorm, Burning Head, Purple Sun of Xeris. Pit of Shades is good, because you can also target stuff on the walls. Just put the foot down, literally, foot of Gork, things like that, and all that sort of stuff. So, shoot the towers, magic them to death. Once you're ready to go, archers are good. Handgunners and gun units in general, not so good. But you can bring these guys up. They will shoot over the top, and you can whittle them down. But I'll generally use all my magic first. Get them right down. Do as much damage as I can with any Winds of Magic that I've got. And then use all the ammunition last. There we go, so I haven't taken a single casualty yet. Shoot away, boys, shoot away. Now I do have to be a little bit careful. I normally wouldn't do this. I would whittle down all their ammunition first, like kill all them with magic and whatnot. Or waste their ammo as well. Just in case they do pop themselves up on the walls and start shooting, might take a bit of damage. Yeah. But I thought Flock of Doom would be a good example here, because it's a very, very easy area of effect, direct damage spell. You can say, I think I've done, what, 5 or 6 casts? Yeah, that's quite a lot of damage there, so... ideally, if you can get them in blobs, so... If I bring him a bit closer, this is why I like it. There we go, I'm now hitting all 3 units. There you go. But yeah, a couple of things with sieges there. Things like Flamestorm too, if they've got a whole bunch of units up on the walls here, what you can do is target it right in the corner, and what it sort of does is it will activate, but it will burn. It's one of those ones where it gets around the you can't cast on a wall rule for Flamestorm. It will drag across. Sometimes it'll pop out sort of down here or a little bit here, but it will get all the units and it'll just magically go through the wall, funnily enough. So yeah, this is a couple of things to make your sieges easier. Shoot down the towers with artillery. Boom, makes your approach safer. Any magic you have, boom, 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 get them down, and then bring in your crossbows, archers, whatever it might be. If you've got gun units, another thing you can do is just use your artillery to punch a hole in the wall, and then just set up your gun unit sort of right in front of the breach, and then just shoot at your units right in front of the breach. You can also do that at the gate as well. It is a bit dangerous, and you do have to be mindful of flying units or anything just rushing out at your gun units. So I'd keep a melee fighter. This guy's got Tormentor Sword and Helm of Discord close by, so if something does come out, I'd pull him back, put this guy right in there to block, get him into combat, pop, 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 and he'll take care of it. These would be guns too, so you can pull them back and just shoot into the combat as well too. But yeah, very simple things that everyone can do, nice and easy. Shoot a tower down, magic them to death. If you've got archers or a missile-based army, shoot away. done and done. But anyway, that was number 2. So now on to the number 1 spot, and we'll be back in a second. I think everyone knows what this is. I just mentioned it a couple of minutes ago, so back in a bit. Alright, cool, and I'm back. So, time for number 1, simplest cheese exploit, abusing the AI in how they behave, taking advantage of how they behave and whatnot. Whatever you want to call it, but here's number 1, and that is ammo wasting. So, there's a lot of different opinions on this, but so I thought you can do this quite a few ways. Well, obviously one way to do it is to waste their ammo. The easiest way to do this is to be the attacker in a siege. That's simplest, like I said just before, in the number 2 spot, for making your sieges easier, knocking out their towers and that. Go through those processes. Generally what I'll do is in a siege, knock out their towers, any ammo that they have up on the walls, specifically bows, not so much guns, because guns are a lot harder to dodge, but if they have a lot of bows, I'll waste all the bows, bow ammo, and then proceed to shoot or magic kill, whatever it might be, any unit that for some reason is not shooting at me, or is a melee unit or monster or whatever it might be, and go from there. Wasting ammo does a couple of things. One, if they have no ammo, they can't shoot you. If they can't hit you. 2, if they're not hitting you, they're not doing any damage. 2, it also affects the balance of power as well. So the more ammo that I use, or the player uses, or the AI uses, if they're not inflicting damage, they're losing balance of power, so it makes it easier to inflict the army losses. So they're the main reasons why you want to do it. It makes your battles a lot easier. Now in field battles, the easiest way to make this work is you always have to be the attacker, and you need to be the attacker in a way where the enemy is not going to come at you. Now one way to do that is to make sure the enemy has artillery superiority. They will almost always sit and they won't advance on you. If you're the attacker and you have artillery superiority, as a general rule, they will come at you. If you're the defender, they will come at you in almost every situation in a field battle.
Getting hungry!
But anyway, let me show you what I mean. So I picked the start of Grom's campaign here because it's the ideal situation. They have artillery superiority, and they have obviously a field trebuchet, so artillery, and they also have a couple of bows. So, and if you want to, I'll show you what I mean as well too by the balance of power here. So I've put this on very hard just to show what I mean, and because Grom also has regeneration too, anything that does hit, he'll regen, and that will help me in balance of power as well too. So let's begin. There we go, those trebuchets will start shooting once they set up. So you can see they're not advancing on me because I'm the attacker and they have the artillery superiority. So the AI will believe, oh, we can just sit back and shoot. This is just how they behave. It'd be nice if let's get in close and get those archers shooting. So here we go. Now it works a lot better with a fast unit. So Grom, he's pretty fast, speed 84. Flying units are some of the better ones to do this with. So you can see they're getting a couple of shots in, but not many. It'd be better if they formed. form a line and decided to start shooting at me. Maybe I should have picked a different situation to explain this better. Basically what I want to do is to showcase the balance of power there. Show everyone what it does. There we go. So you've got to keep them moving. If they stop, start, you can get trapped a little bit. Ideally you don't want to be doing this in water because there's a speed penalty. So there we go, the trebuchet is shooting at us. Right, the more it shoots, provided it's missing and not doing damage, that balance of power will start to favour me. Because their army is essentially, with every shot that they miss, they're losing the ability, or they have less ability to cause me damage as the battle drags on. So keep going. I just want to get it so that it's a marked difference. So I can see through the trees there on the Field Trebuchet's tooltip they've used just over half of its ammo. There we go. This is also quite easy to do once you get yourself into a rhythm. What makes this easy, right, is they predict. So short, sharp turns while you're moving around. So at the time of firing, he may think that, oh, they got a hit on me. There we go. So I'm going right, left. So at the time that it starts firing, if I'm going left, it will predict where I'm going to be if I'm moving left. So short, sharp, changes the direction. Alright, that's out of ammo. So you can see now it started a little bit closer to the middle. They're out of field trebuchet ammo. It's now off the cross swords there. If I can get in, have their archers waste their ammo on me too. There we go. Sweet, sweet, sweet. Keep going. There we go. The one on the left, he's almost done. The one on the right, he's got about 5 volleys left. There we go, and that's their 2 archer units done. So, and you see that balance of power, that's now heavily favouring me. Except for the regen pool, they haven't done any damage at all. They've done 8 damage in total to Grom, but he's at full health with -8 of his regen pool. Now that started pretty close, not dead center, not 50-50, but it was around about there. It's just moved heavily in my favour. Away you go. This, you kind of, on the harder difficulties, you don't have to do this, of course. You can just magic their units with, or artillery bomb them, whatever it is, when they've got full ammo. But why would you do that when, if you've got, say, Purple Zonazarius, you can target, say, Men-at-Arms, which are a lot better in a melee unit than Peasant Bowmen. Peasant Bowmen are a lot easier to kill in melee, So if you've got artillery or magic and that, you can focus all of that on their more dangerous units in melee. And then if you wind up having to kill peasant bowmen at the end, they're easy to kill. Easy. So yeah, there's a few reasons why you might want to do this, but this one is definitely, might not say the easiest to do. It can be a little bit tricky. As you've seen, they kept reforming and whatnot. Doom divers are hard to dodge. Guns, so handgunners and thunderers and that for the dwarfs, they can be quite hard to dodge as well. You need to be really fast, really quick, and even then you're not going to dodge everything. But in general, bows, artillery, things like that, very easy to just get that balance of power in your favour. Then you don't have to do as much damage to them to inflict the army losses and get the win. So there we go. That's the top 5. Let me know what you think. Top 5 easiest to achieve exploit, cheese, abusing the way the AI behaves, whatever you want to call it. There's different things. People call it different things, whatever. But these are just my top 5 things to make your campaign easier on the campaign map and on the battle maps. So I hope you enjoy. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time for whatever it is that I'm doing. So see you then. Bye.